It's the only type of race I haven't done before. Why not give stage racing a try?
You're sharing so much because what else is there to do? You haven't got your phone, you haven't got any of the distractions, so you kind of make friends and you bond over your own trauma.
I'm 65, I can't see the bottom of my feet, and I certainly can't see it after having gone 137 miles. Hi, I'm Steve Powell from New Canaan, Connecticut.
My name is Natalia and I'm from the UK.
Jeff Garmeyer from Bozeman, Montana.
Many of you have been wanting to do this for years, and this is the culmination of that.
Ultra racing, you get to experience the most beautiful remote places in the world. I don't think it gets any better than the Grand Canyon.
One of the privileges of G2G is that you will be living in the remotest desert in America for the next week. And this will be a true adventure.
I signed up for the Grand to Grand. I've always loved to run, and I like to run distances. I saw a video maybe 4 or 5 years ago about the Grand to Grand and wanted to do it, and everything lined up where I felt fit enough to give it a shot, and here I am.
My background is a lot of through hiking, a lot of ultra running, fast packing, which is like somewhere in the middle, but you carry a tent usually.
This number is on, is that on everything? I started to speak to previous competitors, and that's when people told me, oh, this is the 5th time I'm attempting this, or the 3rd time. And that's when I started to get nervous, especially when I spoke to people that had also done the MDS and they were telling me this was going to be harder.
You see this cut in the land, and you don't really realize how vast it is until you get here. So went through my mind was the idea that I'm going to be running through this, and how excited I am to get started.
I lost my breath. It was the most stunning thing I've ever seen. I think we spent hours just sat there looking at the views.
Is it like this? Cut. I don't love heat and I live in Montana, so might as well attack the heat head on.
Didn't really know what it was going to be like being here. It left me very anxious.
Talking about how he's not used to just hanging out.
I know, I was packed up ready to go in like 5 minutes, and it's like, oh yeah, chill.
Right. And 112. 112. Good to see you, Steve. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to be here.
And the initial checkpoint, I think everyone was just in their own heads trying to get through it. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
It was a good pace, and it wasn't overly hard on mentally or on my body. I still was anxious as I knew what was laying ahead of me, but day one was a good experience, and coming into camp was wonderful.
I think it's like proper trauma bonding because we're all going through this hard thing together and only we know what it feels like. So naturally, I think we bond over the fact that we have our own little community of pain.
to see something pretty?
I do. Whoa, dude, what did you do?
He fell.
That Navajo Trail is no joke. Well done. Well done. Good job.
It's really heartwarming because we all deeply care about like us finishing. We don't care where we come. No one cares if you're first or second. It's just please finish the day. And even if you don't, we're just, you know what, you've done your best and keep in touch. We've all got each other's numbers and I'm actually excited to make lifelong friends now. I was really nervous for the long day because I was already struggling with how I was feeling. I was in a lot of pain, I had bad blisters.
As we started on a warm morning, I never even considered running one step in the beginning of day 3. And then we started the hike, which was a great case of never trust a summit.
That first climb on the long stage was really hard, and I think that really slowed me down. Like, the views were incredible, but I don't think any of us thought about the views because we were so aware of the checkpoints and just making it on time to the next one.
It was very hard, but I thought, okay, you know, just keep going one step at a time and it would be fine. It was kind of after I summited, and from checkpoint 2 to checkpoint 5 were the worst demons I faced in the entire event.
I kind of realized, oh, this race isn't kind of joking around with how hard it's going to be.
It was just the daunting amount of miles ahead of me, not even in the subsequent days, but just that day. And I doubted that I could do it, and I questioned whether I wanted to do it. Checkpoint 5, I sat for a long time, and I was waiting for the time deadline to expire. And a few fellow runners, Eddie and Leanne and Julie, came down, just booking down into the checkpoint to make it. And I just looked at myself and said, you know, go, they're going, go.
And there was one checkpoint I got to and they were closing up as I ran past, and I thought, oh my God, I'm gonna have to actually speed up. And I was actually trying my hardest to keep up. It was sad to lose a few friends that day, but I liked it. You just meet the worst of yourself on that day.
Ultra running is very supportive, but it's even more supportive in stage racing, I think, because you just share so many miles, especially if you're around the same time. Like, they've been within 10 or 15 minutes every single stage, and one of them even, we all held hands crossing after the long stage, and boy, was that out of my comfort zone.
In spite of the fact that the long stage was I faced my darkest demons, from about mile 24 on the long stage, that was one of my favorite experiences in the whole thing. I was with Mario and Hannah and Wolfgang for a while, and we all would get into checkpoints and recuperate. But in those checkpoints, I never really thought I would quit. It was just rest and go, because I knew I could just do one more checkpoint. In a strange sort of way, it was fun. It was just a whole bunch of people working together and working by themselves to do something really hard, and we did it.
It's been interesting to, just be thrown into a group of 50 or 60 people that I don't know, and like, you have to interact with them because you live with them for a week. Pretty different, but also pretty rewarding in a totally unexpected way.
The next morning over the sand dunes was incredible because it was sunrise and it was still cool, but you could see the sand dunes, and I think that was one of my favourite parts of the day because the sand was so cool. It was just an incredible experience and I really enjoyed the sand dunes.
When I finished the long day, I thought I was okay, but then I got into camp and I took off my shoes and realized how sore my feet were. And then my friend Eddie walked into camp, and once again I took one look at Eddie and I was like, I'm not quitting. The next morning started and with some big blisters on my feet and open ones. I actually ran for the first time in a couple of days, and we were walking through the wash. I was a little bit unstable and came to climb, which looked pretty intimidating given the state I was in. At that point I was thinking, make it to the next checkpoint, make it to the next checkpoint. And as I came up and saw the checkpoint, it was sort of a couple of hills and valleys away, so I knew it wasn't going to be easy, even though it wasn't very far. I slowly made my way down that red rock into the valley. Then I made it into the checkpoint. 3 miles from the finish, my 100% intent was just to sit there and my day was done. In the nicest possible way, they would hear none of it. Another moment I'll never forget is coming in and I was the last person in, and we crossed the line and a big chunk of the camp was out there cheering, and it was probably the nicest welcome I've ever had in my life, and I'll never forget it. When I went to bed on the last night for me after stage 5, I thought, all right, you have 26, and if you can make the 26, you can make the 8. But I woke up and I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. I still hoped I might go on. Dr. Josh had said, you know, that night, the night before, he said, just go rest. That's the most important thing, and then we'll take a look in the morning. And he peeled off the prior day's tape, and we took a look. He took some pictures of my feet and showed them to me, and I looked at them and said, I think I'm done.
I'm so excited to finish, but I'm also quite sad because I don't want it to end. And I never thought I'd be saying this on day 2, but now I'm like, if Tuss and Colin were like, do you want to do it again next week? I'd be like, yeah. Which is a crazy thing to say, because I remember on the long day going, I'm never doing a long race again. And right now I'm sat here going, I'd do it again next week.
I think the biggest takeaway from doing Grand to Grand is that it's competitive, but it's also not at all competitive. Like, there is vying for spots, but you're doing so many miles over so many days that you really hone in and focus on more relationships than where you're going to finish. Maybe there's a push at the beginning and one at the end, but all those middle days are really focused on interacting with the people that you're basically just part of one world with.
I don't even want to turn my phone on. I just want to kind of exist in this outdoor living environment. I might stay. I know.